$29 silver. Are you kidding us? Who said that? We're going to get to that in this video, but we're going to cover some big stories that are breaking right now that will have major impact on the price of the metals as we move into the coming weeks, quarters, and years. Yes, the D word will be brought up again. You basement dwellers, you know what the D word is, right? Deflation. We're going to talk about that, but we got some big news this morning. Market moving news. We're going to review like Don the Brain recommended. See, I listened to you guys. Don the Brain said, hey, on Monday, I talked about the big events that would unfold this week. Today was probably the biggest day for economic news that will have an impact on the silver and gold price today and as we move into the coming weeks, quarters, and months. I don't know about you, though. It's hard for me to see what the gold price is because I'm such a creature of habit. I always looked at Kitco. Then why is Kitco's website still not working? Does it make you a little suspicious? Kitco, the biggest precious metals website, right? It's like cyber attack. It's been like 5 days, still down. Nonetheless, the best I could gather is that gold is hovering around $2,040 per ounce in the spot market, and silver $24.35. But what was the big news, and what does it mean? Excuse me. Number one, we got initial jobless claims. I'm telling you guys, isn't it incredible? Joe Biden, this economic miracle, they call it Bidenomics, it's working, right? Everything's great out there. Initial jobless claims was not good news for silver and gold. No, bad news. Sorry, I told you there'd be some bad news. Initial jobless claims were way, way down. Only thing I can think of now, all the sheeple out there are like, look how great the economy is. There's all these jobs. Just go work, work, work. If you don't like one job, get yourself another job. If you don't like that job, get yourself a third job. And then you can afford to buy yourself a new 42-inch TV at Walmart for $189. Ho, ho, ho. What a great life. How wonderful it is to be middle class in America. Anyway, jobless claims came in very low, like super low, because people are afraid to quit their jobs, right? People are desperate. They can't pay their bills, huh? Have you talked to any average Americans lately? Average? Consider me average. Are you average? We're all exemplary in one area or another, of course, but average Americans are having a hard time. That didn't deter gold and silver, though, because surprise, 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 Gomer Powell or Jerome Powell or whoever, right? Sergeant Carter. Did you guys know what show I'm talking about? What was that called? Anyway, we got GDP got revised down. Third quarter GDP. Again, another part of the Bidenomic economic miracle. When you spend $1 trillion more than you bring in, you're able to squeeze out 4.6% economic growth. Well, congratulations, Eisenhower. I mean, give me a break. They revised down the third quarter GDP. It wasn't quite as great a Bidenomics as they expected, but it was still really great. Everything's wonderful out there, and don't forget, there's plenty of jobs for you to do. Nonetheless, the revision down, which really it should be revised down to like -4. I think we need to go to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics and make sure that in the upper right-hand corner of their keyboard, their negative key is working, because I think the real number should be -4%, but nonetheless, GDP was revised down. But what's really interesting, the Philadelphia Federal Reserve put out their manufacturing index, and it was a lot cruddier than expected. Yes, it's a little harder for them to fudge that number, apparently. Manufacturing is slowing down, contracting in this country. Oh, gee, is that news to us, guys? Huh? We talk to truck drivers. We talk to what are they called? Engineers. I got a train whistle back here, too, by the way, when we get to 400 thumbs up, and that's going to happen. That's going to happen. Press that thumbs up, that thumb. It's right down there somewhere, okay? It's on your screen. It looks like a thumb. You press it. It's free to press, right? And you feel good about it because it sends us a virtual hug, and you're making a difference on YouTube because that gets the video out to more people. And, I guess if I'm honest, that's what I'm really asking you to do it. I do love the virtual hug. Don't get me wrong. And subscribing is free. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and turn on the bell notifications now. The Philly Fed Index is down. And we have remember that movie Frozen? If you have kids or grandkids, it was out a few years ago. I watched it a few too many times. My kids weren't crazy about it, but every kid in the world had to watch Frozen. Anyway, the housing market is frozen. Hold on. I'm going to say it again. The housing market is frozen. Nobody can sell their house. Nobody can buy a house. Thank you, Henny Bermion, for that super chat. But you know why nobody can sell their house? Because when they go out to look for a new house and they look at getting a new loan, their house payment doubles or triples. So nobody is selling their house and nobody's buying houses. But the real estate market's great. Home values are way up. We are on thin ice in the housing market, okay? If you think your house is worth X number of dollars, I would recommend that in your brain, I'm not saying who knows how this one plays out. It's going to be Tricky Ricky. Tricky Ricky. My old friend, Little Ricky. Tricky Ricky. It's going to be Tricky Ricky within the housing market. We are skating on thin ice, right? There's a Pink Floyd song. If you should find yourself skating on the thin ice of life, that's what's going on in the housing market. It's frozen, right? Somebody needs to tell Joe, hey, Joe, we know the economy's working, but guess what? The housing market's frozen. Typically speaking, when markets freeze up, they fail. We'll see how it plays out. It's going to be very interesting, and a large portion of Americans, they're mentally connected to this make-believe notion that if their house goes up in value, they're rich. No, wrong. If your house goes up in value, that means your property taxes go up in value, and so does your insurance bill. You got to live in the damn place. Unless you're going to sell it and move into a camper, you're not really making any money. Thank you, Henny, for the super chat, my friend. That's a big deal. Hey, guys, we already got 350 people on here. This is growing and growing. My basement is only so big, okay? So no more people. We got 100 thumbs up. I got to ring the bell 10 times. What do you say? It's not Friday. It's Thursday. It feels like Friday. It's the last day of the school for my kids. Oh, I'm so excited. My kids are going to be home for 2 weeks. You ready? You're going to see kids running around. I'm going to ring the bell. Bell warning. I'm going to ring it right by the microphone. Who keeps calling me? I don't know who's calling me. Somebody's calling. Anyway, hold on a second. This one scares me because I think it's my kid's school. So bear with me. I don't know. Hold on a second. Hey, Susie. I think the school was maybe trying to call. Check your phone. 384. Anyway, I apologize for that. Not only is this a show about gold and silver, but we're parents. We got to deal with all kinds of interesting stuff going on. Let's talk about the D word. Nothing is going to propel the price of silver and gold like the D word. All us basement dwellers, we know the D word stands for deflation. Okay? Today, on the Today Show, okay? I've shared with you, I get up in the morning, I drink my coffee, I go to the other room, Susie plays the Today Show. They talked about deflation on the Today Show. They said, consumer confidence is up, but people still have a big fear of recession. This is good. Jobs are good, but things like gas, airfare, big screen televisions are deflating in price. And this supposed economic guru they had on the Today Show for about 33 seconds said the D word, said we're seeing not inflation, but deflation. And I thought, I bet Jerome Powell is sitting around drinking his coffee and he's probably thinking, oh my God, we got deflation. The Federal Reserve unicorn fart dust paper fiat money, debt-driven, $34 trillion in debt, $1 trillion deficit. Guys, the system does not function with deflation. It needs inflation, which doesn't make any sense anyway, right? But now that we're not backed by gold and silver, they have to inflate the money away every year. They have a goal. Their goal, they claim, is to only steal 2% of your money per year. But we know previous years it's been closer to like 10. That's been like 30% over the last 3 years. But nonetheless, deflation, it's like your car you have probably runs on gasoline, right? It's like putting diesel fuel into your fuel tank. It doesn't work. So the Fed will freak. Everybody's seeing it. We already talked about the Walmart CEO. We talked about all this. And when the Fed freakies, gold and silver are really going to take off. It's going to be a lot of fun. Susie's upstairs, Hermie. She's wrapping Christmas presents. Anyway, and now I'm worried about the kids' school calling. I hope everything's okay, but Susie will let me know if there's a problem. Anyway, deflation will flip Jerome Powell. Like he will print money, kryptonite to the Fed, deflation, money printing, good for silver and gold. Okay. And then they say this, the price of airfare is down. Well, let me tell you something. Average Americans, today's show, aren't flying anywhere. Those are the upper, okay? Those are the people that have money. Average Americans are suffering, okay? And then they're like, we don't understand. We don't understand why people are so down. Like the Gallup poll says, people think that they're worried about their financial. Well, because I'll tell you why, right? And we know why. And we'll go over this very quickly. Because people have maxed out their credit cards, spent all their savings, are draining money out of their 401ks, but everything's good. No, because average Americans can't make ends meet. So this guy, Harry Dent, do you know who Harry Dent is? Right? He says we're going to have the world's biggest crash ever. Let's just read through this. Came from Zero Hedge. Harry Dent gets a lot of press, right? He can be a guy that's always says the sky is falling, but he says this is quote unquote off the charts. He says 2024 will bring, quote, the biggest crash of our lifetime. Now, if Harry is right, I have a question for you, basement dweller. Are your M&Ms in order? You know the M words, the M&Ms, right? Are you prepared? Almost knocked my coffee over. I have a very small area in which to work here. M&Ms, are you prepared monetarily? Are you prepared mentally? Or are you prepared mentally? You can flip them around either way. That we could have some serious hard times coming ahead. He says since 2009, this has been 100% artificial. Unprecedented money printing and deficits. 27 trillion, and let me remind you, Don the Brain pointed this out, a trillion is a million times a million. The sheeple don't know that. 27 trillion over 15 years, to be exact. Harry Dent said that to Fox Business. He said this is off the charts, 100% artificial. What's he talking about? 100% artificial, which means we're in a dangerous state. He says, I think 2024 is going to be the biggest single crash year we will see in our lifetimes. Depression. Remember the D word, basement dwellers? Who knows the D word? Depression, right? The C word, confluence of factors. Like we spent way more money than we should have, right? The economy's slowing and the rest of the world hates us. I'm just, being blunt, right? Depression. Hold on. There's more. Maybe somebody should share this with Joe. He said, we need to go back to normal and we need to send a message to central banks. This should be a lesson I don't think we'll ever revisit. I don't think we'll ever see a bubble for any of our lifetimes again. So we are in a bubble. Bubble, bubble, bubble. And what did Harry say up here? What did our friend Harry say? 100% artificial. It's like there's a unicorn, right? We're living in fantasy land. Everybody's living in Are you living in fantasy land? No, you're living in the basement, you basement dweller, where we're dealing with reality. You're the 1 in 100, 1 in 300, whatever, right? I don't care. I don't want everybody in the world to be basement dwellers. We're out ahead of the curve. We're like dealing with reality. Everybody else lives in a fantasy land where, oh, everything's great. I can go to Buffalo Wild Wings and put it on my credit card. I can spend $50 eating some crappy chicken wings and everything's great. Oh, look at this. We talked about this. They're walking around inside the Fed funhouse with the smoke and the mirrors. Jerome's in the control room, right? Oh, look, I can adjust that mirror so that they think they're rich and, all this BS. No. Where are you? Are you in the funhouse? No, you're standing by the emergency exit, or you've already exited the funhouse. We went down that road many times in the past. Let's see what else Harry had to say. I like Harry Dent. Oh, he says it's going to be a crash more like we had in 1929 or 1932. Isn't it funny how these things happen every 100 years? And anybody who sat through that would have shot their stockbroker. We're not advocating violence in any way. He says, if I'm right, it's going to be the biggest crash of our lifetime, most of it happening in 2024. You're going to see it start and be more obvious in May. Now, I've called for $2,600 gold in May. We're going to revisit that later. And who said $29 silver? Was it you? I'm going to explain to you why it may have been you. Basement dweller? And we're almost to 200 thumbs up, and this is a good little time for me to ring the cowbell for all you guys. Don't forget, please give us a thumbs up, that little thing's down there, and subscribe to the channel. And thank you for being here, my fellow basement dwellers, because you have proven one thing. If you've done nothing else today, you've proven that you're not asleep. No, you're not asleep. And we got 200 thumbs up. Now, I'm going to give the bell warning. I've gotten warning after warning, threats about these bells, okay? But the bells are part of the show. So you got a bell warning. Mute your headphones, okay? All right, watch, okay? That old silver bear must be hungry. What was I going to tell you guys? Oh, yeah, well, I'll tell you later. Okay. All right, Harry Dent says we're going to crash. You want to hear some more good news? You're in the right place. I'm the brink, the whatever of tidings and joy. This is live, so I'm going to say some things that don't make any sense whatsoever, but 98% of it should make sense, so at least it does to me. Nonetheless, are you going bankrupt? Are you? Are you going bankrupt? You know what bankruptcy means? That means your bills are bigger than your income and you are living an unsustainable lifestyle. It's basic mathematics, addition and subtraction, okay? Whatever you bring in is addition, whatever you spend is subtraction. I try to, reinforce some basic ideas, and I know you already knew that, but some people are going bankrupt. You want to hear about them? Some businesses are going bankrupt. Let's talk about the businesses first. We've had a spike. Sorry, I yelled. Makes me mad. It's like, manage your money, people. I understand sometimes things happen, right? Extenuating circumstances, but we've had a spike in Chapter 11 bankruptcies with businesses here in the United States. But I thought Bidenomics was working anyway. We've had 842 Chapter 11 business bankruptcies in November of 2023. That's just a slight increase because back in November of 2022, 1 year ago, we only had 350 bankruptcies. Wait a minute. In 1 year, we went from having 350 bankruptcies to 842 bankruptcies. That's like 120% increase. in bankruptcies with businesses. And some people are saying, even though, and I'll just say, I promise I won't do this again, but I'm on a roll today. Bidenomics is working, even though, and we know that, basement dwellers, we know Bidenomics is great, it's working. But even though it's working, some people say that these bankruptcies are just the tip of the iceberg because, remember, there's lag effect of all the interest rate hikes. A bunch of businesses are going to be having to refinance their debt in the coming 12 months, and they're going to have a rather unpleasant surprise. Don't you hate when that happens? When you go down, you go to your mailbox. I'm sorry. I'm a paranoid person. I go to my mailbox. I'm like, please no bill. Please no bad news. Please no $400 bill for my colonoscopy that they say I owe $400, even though it was supposed to be free. That's a true story. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, it's the tip of the iceberg because all these companies, your guy running his company's like, hey, everything's great here at Ron's Hubcap Company. We're selling hubcaps like never before. We got more hubcaps. Come on down to Ron's Hubcap Company. I'll set you up with some hubcaps, right? And I borrowed $2 million from the bank 3 years ago to start Ron's Hubcap Company, but I forgot that the term of the loan was 3 years. The term means the period of time. It's a short word, but a lot of people don't realize that. Well, in March of 2024, I need to refinance that $2 million loan. And I'm paying 4%. I'm going to go to my local bank, right, up at, Chesterfield Valley Bank, and they're going to say, hi, Ron, how's hubcaps? And I'm say, hubcaps are great. Everything's wonderful. I just need to do this little bit of paperwork. They're going to say, Ron, we got some bad news for you. We can refinance your $2 million loan that you took out to start the hubcap company, but instead of 4%, your new rate's going to be 9.5%. And at that point, I'm going to hope I'm wearing a Depends diaper, okay? Because that means that my annual interest expense will go from $80,000 to like $200,000. Are you catching my drift, folks? That's going to be happening all over the country. They're going to be, I tell you what, I don't give financial advice, okay? I don't give financial advice, but I would say it might be smart for us to buy stock in the company that sells Depends undergarments or the baby wipes, right? And we can stand outside the banks and have like a cleanup station because there's going to be a lot of business owners. They're going to be refinancing debt, and let's just say it's not going to be a pleasant experience for them. I digress. What about individuals? Now let's talk about you. Maybe you don't own a business. Maybe you're just an individual. Are you going bankrupt? And I don't make light of this, right? Anybody ever wants financial advice? I'll give it to them. I'll give it to you right now, baby, right? Spend less than you make. Do everything you can to make more money than you spend. There, okay? You just got a bachelor's degree in how to get ahead in the world, and they won't even teach you that at college. Trust me. 35,000 people claimed bankruptcy in November. Only 35,000. Think about a big arena where an NBA basketball team or an NHL hockey team plays. Imagine it being sold out. A big one. I think the one here in St. Louis, whatever they call it now, only holds 22,000, but a big one, 35. Think of like a big baseball stadium, 35,000. All those people couldn't pay their bills. They claimed bankruptcy. What is that telling us? Okay. Oh, we know their credit cards are maxed out, their savings. We already covered all that. 40%. Is it going to get worse? Well, only 40% of people that were once again required to start making payments on their student loans, only 4 out of every 10 skipped their first payment on their student loans. But everything's okay, right? We know that subprime auto defaults are at an all-time high, right? Auto loans, okay? And this blew me away. Did you know this? The average rate on an auto loan, and I don't know if this is subprime, but even if it is 12%, guys, walk if you have to. Okay, I know people need cars. I'm not. Okay, people are upside down on their cars, meaning they owe more than their car's worth. Data shows more bankruptcies are coming for individuals. Big trouble. We got to talk about silver and gold. To pull it all together, okay, to make sense of all this, we have contracting manufacturing, we have businesses going bankrupt, we have individuals, just a whole basketball arena full of them going bankrupt, but everything is great, and we're heading into 2024 when most of the world hates us. Oh, and by the way, it's not just businesses and individuals going bankrupt, but your government, your elected officials, right, have basically bankrupted your country as well. Welcome to America in 2023. I don't want to be negative. And how do you protect yourself? Let's ask that question. What can you do to protect yourself in this type of an environment? What do you do? You could be your own central bank, right? Hint, hint, right? We know, basement dwellers, maybe it'd be a good idea to own some precious metals, right? And if you want to own some precious metals and you're in the market, do yourself a little favor. Check out Pimbex, Pimbex, Pimbex.com. I love to say it. I love to spell it. But what I love even more is that when I go there, I get more money I get more metal for my money. More metal for my money. Seriously, their prices are always very difficult to beat, okay? And I like that fact, and I like that I can go there. It's like a one-stop shop. I know my prices are going to be great, and I check, okay? I check. They're always the best, all right? And on top of that, I know I can trust them, and they always have an adequate selection for what I need. So if you decide to buy yourself some gold, silver, or platinum, you might throw Pimbex into the mix. I'm not telling you what to do, okay? I don't do that. I'm telling you what I do. And you might consider checking them out, okay? And if you're ever going to convert an IRA to silver or gold, really, really, really important that you at least talk to them and see what they have. Because remember, you want to maximize the amount of metal you get for your money. You want metal maximization. Now we're going to zoom in on silver and gold. I need more thumbs up, baby, because at 300 thumbs up, we get to ring the gong. That gong. That gong. See it? The golden gong. All right. All you got to do is find the thing that looks like a hand with its thumb up and press it. Is that too much to ask? And then you get even closer to us here in the basement because we want to be close together. I also ring the bell or the gong 5 times when we get to 500 people on the live stream. Anyway, $45 silver and $2,600 gold by May. I'm wondering why I wrote that on my notes for this show, because that's what I think. That's my prediction. Right, we're going to go through the 2100 level and stay there on gold. You know this, basement dwellers, right? You're probably like Susie right now and thinking, oh my God, he repeats stuff over and over. Well, it's important for you to hear this because once we get and stay above 2100, there's nobody up there. There's nobody that there's no, let me tell you, hey, thank you for that. I forgot about super chats. Thank you. Hold on. Oh boy. Daniel, thank you, my friend. Basement dwellers, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Daniel. That's awesome. Thank you. Now, this is critical for you to understand. There's nobody that bought gold at 2125 who's thinking, if it ever gets there again, I want to sell, right? They're roughly $100 higher than we are right now. Correct? Correcto mundo, unless gold's crashed since I've been on this live stream, which would be very unfortunate, but for which I would not be held liable or responsible because I am not offering any type of financial advice, just my opinion, which 63% of the time is right. Nonetheless, there's nobody. This is why, on a serious note, guys, it's so key that we get above 2100 and stay there because there's nobody that bought gold above 2100 who's waiting for it to get there again so they can sell it. That's called overhead resistance. Okay? Now you're going to say, well, you're wrong, Ron. You're wrong because gold went to 2150. It went to 2150 for a blip. Okay? It barely stayed above 2100 for any time at all. Those people don't count. Okay. And everybody counts, you know what but there was such a small segment of people on a Sunday night that bought gold at that price that there's hardly anybody, there's no overhead resistance, nothing to speak of. Anyway, you want to do something fun? I'll do it as fast as I can. Look, remember this? Remember her? Do you know her? Anybody know her? Well, it's an Indian lady, right? Indians love gold and silver. They do all kinds of reports. This is great information. These are the 8 biggest banks. It says gold glitters. 2024 outlook. DBS, Singapore Bank, 36,000 employees, $2,050 per ounce. Goldman Sachs. Oh, I almost forgot. Hey, basement dwellers, everybody say hi to all the guys at Goldman Sachs, guys and women. Okay, I'm sure they have a very diverse workforce, but from what I understand, the people at Goldman Sachs love to come to the basement. Look, I even wore a Brooks Brothers shirt for you today, boys and girls at Goldman Sachs. But Goldman Sachs says $2,133 per ounce. ABN AMRO, Dutch Bank, big Dutch Bank. They say we're going to have $2,000 gold in 2024. Somebody needs to go wake those Dutchmen up and shut off their supply of beer because we've already got $2,000 gold. Citi says 2175, 2,175. Citi has 250,000 employees until they're laying off 10%, but nonetheless, big company. Saxo Bank, which is Danish, 2,200. It gets better. Commerzbank, German bank, says 2,075 for gold in 2024. TD says 2,100. Livermore Partners. Oh, you're going to like Livermore Partners. They're a big, fancy hedge fund out of Chicago. Livermore Partners. They're calling for $2,500 gold. This is like the smartest guy in the room. His name is David Nierhauser. It's one of those smart guys you've never heard of, because the really smart guys, you've never heard of them. Neither have I, okay? Warren Buffett, can't argue with his track record. But my opinion, smart, yes. Smartest guy in the room, no. Sorry, no, okay? David Nierhauser, smartest guy in the room. Wheaton Precious Metals and Randy Smallwood. Also, surprise, Gomer Pyle calling for $2,500 gold. And XM Australia says $2,200 gold. Now, those prices equate to, if I average it all out and ran it through my model, $42 silver for next year. Okay? All right. Did you say $29 silver? Did you want to hear about that? Okay. 2024 forecast from our friends at Bullion Vault and Adrian Ash, who I kind of like. Okay. Just real quickly, the 2024 gold forecast, 2342, 2,342. The 2024 silver forecast, $29. This is from the Wisdom of Bullion Vault users, and they just revealed this in their latest investor survey. But what's interesting is the investor survey was pretty much spot on last year. Okay, it says everybody thinks gold and silver are going to rise. Bullion Vault users say the same. Everybody's saying that silver or gold are going to rise. Investors responding to our latest survey predict, on average, that the gold price will be $23.42. Too bullish? Maybe. But as a crowd, Bullion Vault users have called it pretty darn close. 1 year ago today, they predicted what the gold price would be right now. They said after forecasting 2012, that was their forecast last year, that right now we would be at 2012. For the end of 2023, now they're saying 2342. So these people have a recent good track record, okay? Looks awful wise. Oh, when last year, when they predicted over $2,000 gold right now, very close price to where we are, okay? At that time, all right, gold was trading at 1,800, all right? Now, they go through a big list. Hold on here. Bear with me. Okay. Okay, it says that the rise in the gold price is remarkable. It's as a non-yielding asset. But of course, like everybody said, you want to hear it for the 998th time, central banks are buying. Okay. So, and they go through the whole stuff that let's go silver. Silver, by the way, will end next year at $29 per ounce. That's according to the average forecast of the over 2,000 users at Bullion Vault who went into the silver price estimate section, okay? And that's without the more useful precious metal enjoying any central bank demand. And the other thing, I just had a great conversation. Nobody's talking about this, okay? And I'm going to ring the gong 3 times because you guys got us 300 thumbs up. Thank you. Nobody's talking about this, though, when it comes to silver, okay? Silver's doing okay. It was doing okay this morning. But guys, it's just going to take a little more investor demand for the silver price to absolutely explode. We're doing $24 silver with horrific sentiment. Horrific levels of buying are down like 20% from last year. Imagine what's going to happen. Remember what's going to happen next year. The Fed's going to cut rates because Jerome knows there's big trouble. The fact that Jerome Powell, in his last press conference, right, basically telegraphed that they're going to cut rates 3 times next year. If he's doing that, you know that under the hood, right, that's the tip of the iceberg. You know, under the hood, there are big problems in the economy. But think about this, right? So what do you think's going to happen when the Fed cuts rates next year, when they open the spigots, right? You know what's going to happen? The whole system is primed for a shock of higher inflation. We're getting the deflation now. We talked about that. That's making Jerome freak. Deflation now. He's freaking because things are worse than we even realize. Cut rates next year, but we're in this situation where we have $34 trillion in debt, massive deficits, a world that hates us, a world that's de-dollarizing. We are primed. We are set up. Everything's in place. Confluence, the C word, of factors for a big spike in inflation. I'm saying sometime around May, June, July timeframe. I'm often early, okay? But when we get that spike this time, right, all those people, right, think, what, did your dad ever say this to you? Your dad, did he ever say, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Everybody, not us, because you already know, but all the other sheeple, right, all the other sheeple, right, in July when they go to the grocery store, and they see that a bag of Doritos went up from $4 a bag to $5.25 a bag, right? And they have to run over to the Depends aisle, but they're all gone because all the small business owners that went to get their loans refinanced already bought all the Depends anyway. They're going to be like, oh no, oh Bessie, I remember this. This is called inflation. This happened back in 2021. I got to do something. I remember last time I left my money in the bank and it became worth less. Right? That's when we get, instead of us just being 1 in 100, right? Those people that are buying gold at Costco, right? That little trickle we're starting to see goes from being 1 in 100 to like 4 in 100. And that's 4 times the money in the precious metal sector. You know what that does to the price of the metals? Do you know? You know. If there's 4 times as much money trying to buy something, I don't care if it's, I don't know, deer antlers or silver or gold. But if there's suddenly, and there's only so many deer antlers and there's only so much gold or silver on the planet, all right, because you can't print gold and silver, last I checked. If there's 4 times as much money chasing that same amount of gold or silver, I don't know, does that mean the price goes up by 4? I know one thing for sure. I don't have to be Albert Eisenhower to figure this one out. That means the price goes up because it's a small. I was speaking with Yara from Arcadia Economics this morning, right? And she was reinforcing this idea. The silver and gold market are tiny, itsy bitsy teeny weeny. We forget that because we go into Yahoo Finance and right up there by the S&P 500 and the Dow and the NASDAQ, they got gold and silver. But silver's like 1/1 billionth total market cap value of the S&P 500. Okay, right? Yeah, interesting. I just got a breaking news. We got some breaking news. Thank you, Coin Shop Chris. Hold on, we're going to check this. He says Kitco is back. So bear with me. Don't leave. I'll keep talking to you. I'm walking over here to get the bat phone. I've got the bat phone. Let's see. Let's do a live update of the gold and silver price. Let's see if it's back. No, it's not back on my phone. Kind of back. Gold is trading, spot gold up almost $11 per ounce. Woohoo! We'll take it. $2,042.61.5. Silver. Oh, what are they so mean to silver for? Silver says spot price right now, $24.33. Centavos. Okay. Real quickly, Coin Shop. Oh, I got to ring the bell. Then I got some more information for you. I ring the gong. We got 300 thumbs up. We got 320. I'm going to give you, I'm dying, an extra gong ring. This is the gong warning for those of you that don't like gongs. How can you not like a gong? What is wrong with you? Huh? That's okay. We're all different. I accept everybody. The gong goes nicely with the gold in my tie. Wouldn't you agree? And we got 500 people on the live stream. So we're going to do 3 rings for 300 thumbs up and 5 rings for the 500 people that are on here. Okay, guys, this is a big show and a big deal. And I'm going to tell you why right now. I'm going to tell you something right now. Listen up, Buttercup. Is Buttercup on here today? That's my nephew, Matthew. Buttercup. Anyway, this is a big deal. Okay? Because your founding fathers, right? They put silver and gold in the United States Constitution, and now some rebellious states, or should we say innovative states, or should we say smart states, and these a lot of times happen to be the states with growing populations and expanding economies, but there's no correlation there. No. You know, Florida, the state of Florida, if it were its own country, it would be the 15th largest country in the world. People keep moving to Florida. I wonder why. Could it be, I don't know. Could it be, I got to watch what I say. Anyway, they're innovative. We'll say that, okay? One of their innovations that they're working on is gold and silver legal tender legislation, all right? But we're not talking about Florida today. We're talking about my old friends in New Hampshire. It's New Hampshire, I've been told, but I always say New Hampshire. Coin Shop Chris goes crazy when I say that. So right now, he's probably trying to comfort himself by shoving 5 ding-dongs into his mouth. New Hampshire. New Hampshire. New Hampshire bill would treat gold and silver as money. Here's some breaking news. A bill, this was on the 19th. It broke a few days ago, but nonetheless, a bill filed in the New Hampshire House would take several steps to increase currency competition with sound money. What does that mean, sound money? In the state, and set the stage for people there to undermine the Federal Reserve's monopoly on money. Keith Ammon and 5 co-sponsors, wow, filed the bill on December 15th. It's HB 1674 under the proposed law. They're going to use specie, which is any silver, gold bullion, fabricated into products of uniform shape, size, design, content, weight, and purity that are suitable for customarily used as currency, as a medium of exchange, or as a medium for purchase, sale, storage, transfer, or delivery of precious metals in retail or wholesale transactions. Anyway, they're going to be dealing. It's big news all over the country. More and more states passing legal tender legislation. You guys are on the forefront of this. All these state representatives all over the place are complimentary of you, right? The basement dwellers, okay? Support that you're giving for this has been overwhelming, right? And we're doing what our founding fathers had set out for us. I will let you, Alexander Hamilton, wasn't he the guy, the father of the Constitution? I'm horrible with history, but all the guys that worked on the Constitution are smiling on you. Yes, you basement dweller right now. So good job. Oh boy, I forgot. Hold on. 88888. 8 stands for great. We are very grateful, and they are very great for all of the moderators on this channel. We got the one and only Coin Shop Chris. We have our friend Jim M. We have Jake from Jake's Custom Parts. Okay. And we have Annie Oakley, and we have Sassy Silver, and we have our friend Craig Edmonds. So thank you to all the moderators. I don't think I missed anybody, but if I did, I apologize. They make this channel what it is, and they make it great. So thank you. Okay. You guys are awesome. I appreciate the super chat today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Okay. And I'll tell you why. That way you'll get notified every time I go live or put out a new video. And I will put out a new piece of content every day for the rest of my life because I love connecting with you. Right? I tried to get them to change the name of this thing to RonTube. They wouldn't do it. They said, Ron, it's about the viewer. It's about the basement dweller. And they got that right. And the other thing I talked about with Yara this morning from Arcadia Economics was how awesome the community of silver and gold enthusiasts is, right? Or are, because it's a bunch of great individuals coming together. That includes you. I'll look forward to coming together with you next time. But today, have a great day. Okay. Be nice to yourself, and I'll see you soon.